It's over in the Quad Cities, the John Deere. Lucas Glover getting the win. You know that name. 41 years old, Clemson, won the U.S. Open in 2009, has had an up and down, incredibly interesting roller coaster kind of career where he's been a major champion and then almost sort of out of this thing, and now he gets a win the week before a major championship. Ryan Moore, Kevin Na, they 2 shots back. They finished T2, and you see Luke List among the folks who finished T4. And after those first 3 names, you see sort of maybe some names you don't know. A lot of people who will be playing in the Open Championship next week, not in this tournament, but still a good field. This is a terrific event in the Quad Cities, and Lucas Glover gets it done. And time now for our post-round Beyond Driven segment, sponsored by the all-new TaylorMade Tour Response golf balls. Swear by it, not at it. And there you go. All right, Kyle Porter comes in. All right, Lucas Glover gets the win. Did you see this coming at the start of the week? And what does the fact that he wins say to you?
Well, I don't know if you can ever see it coming when somebody hasn't won in 10 years. You know, Lucas Glover's had a really good career. He's had 4 wins over the course of nearly 2 decades of playing on the PGA Tour. But, you know, he's not somebody that you kind of look at the beginning of the week and say, hey, he's my guy this week. It takes a lot. I mean, the short game is not usually great, but if it is, you know, he has the possibility. He has the ability to contend at tournaments like this, especially like you said in a little bit weaker fields like the John Deere Classic. So it's a great win for him. We usually don't see somebody post like that early on and then kind of hold off everybody else that's coming home. But you know, kudos to him for being, you know, but I think the consistency and the longevity of it is really what it speaks to me over the course of a really a 15, 16-year career on the PGA Tour. You
know, your answer is terrific and accurate, and it reminds me of how I answer a question when someone says, what'd you think of the movie? And I'm not quite sure, right? I kind of liked it. I'm not sure. You just start going through it, and you're like, well, there was this really good part there, and then I know about this part. Like, that's sort of who Lucas Glover has been. And, you know, this is a major champion who has gone a long time between sips of champagne, and then in this kind of field event, the week before another major, brings one home, and as you said, does so sort of kind of in pretty good fashion. All right. What did we learn this week? Anything that you sort of can take with you going into next week at the Open Championship?
Yeah, I don't know that there's a ton there that we learned. You know, it's been interesting to me to see so many withdrawals from the Open Championship next week. We saw Bubba Watson, Hideki Matsuyama. There's a ton of guys that Siwoo Kim. There's a ton of guys that have pulled out of the Open Championship next week. The one guy that, you know, you kind of look at that was the favorite actually at this event that hit the ball pretty well, especially with his irons, is Daniel Berger. And he's somebody who I think is, you know, could be in contention at the Open at Royal St. George's next week. But there's not a lot of guys in this field, EK, that you kind of look at going over next week and think, okay, that's my guy. You know, Harold Varner hits it well, but are you going to pick him to win the Open? Probably not. Berger's the one guy that he's got some form. He's got 4 top 20s in his last 6 events on the PGA Tour, actually not including this one, but still hit the ball pretty well at TPC Deere Run and could be a contender at next week's Open.
All right, let me really put you on the spot then. I'll sort of narrow it down. If we looked into the crystal ball and we said the person who wins the Open Championship this year was in the John Deere field this week, you would say it is who and why?
I guess I would say it's Berger. You know, he's really the guy with, I think, kind of major win equity. I don't know that there's anybody else in that field that you would look at and say, man, they've got a lot of win equity going into the Open. Maybe a Brian Harman has been playing well, somebody like that. But EK, I can't imagine somebody from this field. You guys can play this clip back a week from now, but I can't imagine somebody from this field going over to England and winning the final major of 2021. I really think it's going to be somebody who wasn't in the field at the John Deere this week that gets it done next weekend.
Hence the reason I had to ask the question that way, because I figured that's what you would say. Well done, Kyle Porter. Let's do it again soon. All right, first cut. Part of our great family of podcasts here on CBS Sports. You know, they're going to have a lot to say about the Open Championship. Royal St. George's, Southeast England, no Open last year. So Shane Lowry's had that claret jug for 2 years now. We'll see who can get it done. You want to make sure that you're with our First Cut gang. You download, you subscribe, you enjoy.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.